All right, we're going to do angels and oracle cards, and we're going to talk about today's energies. You might be feeling a little bit of an energetic hangover from last night's supermoon, and we're still feeling that supermoon over the next couple of days. So we'll talk about that today. And today is my favorite. It is Pleiadian day. We have a powerful alignment between the moon and the Pleiades tonight. So that's going to be kind of adding to some of these energies in a good way. So give me 1 minute while I find this video and get it set up and set out. We'll talk about that, and we're going to do some cards. We're doing angels and auras oracle cards today. So if you're just finding me, take a second to say hi. Go ahead and leave a comment. Connect with the energies. Especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. Make sure you're also hitting the share button if you're trying to get cards and things like that. And just give me 1 minute while I'm sharing this video out. We'll get started. I did put a couple articles up on my website this morning talking about today's energies if you're looking to, we'll say, read more into them. I always love the galactic alignments, but you might be feeling a little bit tired or moody or purging or emotions coming up from that supermoon. Just kind of depends on how you are vibing with it, right? All right, I'll let you guys share this out so we can get started. So when we're dealing with the realm of the moon, it tends to, like many of these energies, just like today's galactic energies that we're feeling a little bit more, they tend to amplify whatever's going on within you. I always kind of try to break this down and explain it to you. You're feeling a little moody, you're going to be feeling extra moody, right? But that is some of the things that can happen because when we move through a lot of lunar energies, it tends to cleanse us a little bit, right? Things can kind of come to the surface, especially on the unconscious level. Conscious, we're aware of. We know what's going on. Unconscious energies tend to rise up so that we can kind of clear things or shift certain things. So we tend to get a little bit more intuitive awareness. Now, today's energies are bringing a powerful Pleiadian frequency, even though the Pleiades are quite far away. When these two align, it's some of my favorite gateway energies. We're feeling it, okay, in a good way. You might be feeling more creative, more inspired right now. This is a good thing, more intuitive. You're getting psychic downloads through. Yes, you might be getting a lack of sleep. We talked about that from last night. That's last night's supermoon. But today's energies bring a lot of upgrades and a lot of activations with them and are very, very positive energies. And they're kind of like the healing balm needed after that supermoon. We're going to have another supermoon that's going to help us to wrap out the year as well too. I think that this is just what I tap into. The energies are going to continue to be quite high and even amplify, going a lot higher as we're getting ready to wrap the year up. And I hate to say this, we got November, we got December, we're done with 2026. Farewell, bye. Right? But anyways, jokes aside, the energies are going to continue to climb because we know that as we wrap up this year, we go into the winter solstice and we have a lot of heightened energies and things like that too. We're also going into the darker part of the year, which tends to bring up some things if we need to resolve things. Just kind of depends on what's going on individually. But expect heightened energies as we're wrapping this year up, and the frequencies don't go back down. They continue to amplify as we're going through our ascension and kind of what's going on this planet during this time. So expect heightened energies to kind of continue. Last night's supermoon is kind of getting you where you need to be for the rest of the year too. Some people are cleansing, clearing things out. Some people it's just about the upgrades. Just kind of depends on where you're at frequency wise and what's kind of going on within you too as you're kind of handling it too. Not going to go too into this. We're going to do some cards. I brought Angels and Auras Oracle. Check out my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. I have lots of nice little posts on there about the energy and tons of healings and activations for you. I am an energy healer, so I have tons of healings, clearings, activations on there, psychic readings. I teach tons of classes like Reiki and Sakem, so all sorts of stuff on there. I shouldn't say it yet, but I'm about to have an app. Like, it's probably going to be launched like today or tomorrow. I've made an app too so that you guys can scroll on it too. It'll be on sorry, it'll be on Apple Store and Google. I'll let you guys know. I'll post that because that'll be coming out within the next couple of days too. That'll really help you kind of flipping through things more. But make sure you guys are checking out my website, sparksofdivinelightshealing.com. If you need me, you book me on there. Always trying to get you guys to do more healing sessions and things like that too. So that's where you can find me. Okay, make sure you shared this out and left a comment. If you're able to sign up and be a supporter or send PayPal donations or stars, please do. It helps to keep this page going. Also, I tend to do more videos, right? But awesome way you guys can give something back if you're getting something out of this content and out of this page. So if you're sending stars, I'm going to try to give you a psychic shout out. But it helps a ton. You can always just send them just because. Okay, let's see what is going on. It's a really good time for tapping into. I was feeling great, but that moon was in my sign. I was vibing with it and feeling amazing. I still am, right? It just kind of depends on where you're at, I suppose. This is like my 4th video today. Just wanted to come say hi. Let's see. I see Cree. Good morning. Okay, have confidence. This is my favorite. And we're going to hold the cards up because they're cute. Okay, this is my solar plexus energy, right? And clearing that out. Okay, this is strength, balance, being prepared, and being tranquil. Now, I love this message because did you know that a lot of our healing happens through the chakras? That's like all I talk about. I'm like, chakras, 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 right? Okay, a lot of our healing happens through the chakras because they're being upgraded. First, we have to clear them out. Did you know that? Like, every time that you had obviously an energetic block, it comes down to the chakras, but also things in your external reality are literally trying to get you to kind of heal things on the energy level. No matter what it is that you've been through in your life, even the trauma, whatever it is like encouraging us to go within and clear out some of these blockages. And I did a lot of writing about this topic that I feel that we pick up a lot of negativity in childhood we'll say of no one's fault, but whatever. We pick up a lot of programming, we call it, that we have to kind of work on healing and things like that too. So sometimes by the time we're adults, we end up with a lot of hidden insecurity and we're not aware of that. And it can kind of translate into our connections closest to us and having problems in them and all sorts of things like that too. But also our solar plexus, while it has a lot to do with how confident we are or not, because we have to really show up for ourselves and be okay being seen, something we're working on as starseeds and intuitives and empaths and healers and light workers. But also with this, there's a lot that can kind of block it up intuitively. We're trying to open up psychically like never before and kind of open up our intuition a little bit more. When we have more open intuition, we have more clarity. We know what to be doing. We have better guidance. And so a lot of times when we clear out our solar plexus, this is huge for our awakening energy and kind of tapping in intuitively more. Now, what blocks up our solar plexus is inner child trauma and old repressed emotions. The two go hand in hand, by the way. And so we have to do a certain amount of chakra work to kind of be at our best and to handle some of the upgrades. The more open that we are energetically, the more that we're going to be able to hold this light and even embody it on so many levels too. Solar plexus, this will help to make you more balanced emotionally, and things like that too. I find that trauma can throw us out of balance, obviously, because if you've ever been through something traumatic, it can put you in the emotional upheaval and the purges and things like that, or even just old stuff coming up from these energies. You know, they're like entire waves of energy and storms that we're learning how to navigate. So this is just a little bit of a message about clearing out your solar plexus, and this will help open you up more and sharpen your psychic senses, especially your intuition, and getting more clarity. Let's do Etherica Riviera. Just so you can see it. Sorry, I don't know if these comments are in the way for you. Okay, we're gonna do spiritual adventure. And I always am like, travel, adventure, experience, and inspiration. And so I feel, and there's different things, obviously like cars, but we kind of take that for granted. Like I gotta drive places, right? Things like boats, trains, they have great symbolism in your life when you're journeying. Now, this is my spiritual journey card on Earth, by the way. So those of you who don't realize that's the greatest adventure that we're on, living life here on Earth, and where it's kind of taking us as we're making this voyage. And sometimes we take it for granted, like we live here and we're kind of used to it. So this is like, and I always know that sometimes this is getting ready to go somewhere. And this might just be your awakening and up leveling for some. If you're like, I never go anywhere, I'm not leaving the house lately, I'm in the hermit energy for the winter. But jokes aside, this is like maybe spirit is trying to get you to go somewhere. And when you follow that energy, it's a lot of what I was talking about. It will take you places. And I remember talking about that, like the energy is just pulling me here and I have to go with it, right? And so I see that happening for a lot of people. Some people are being guided to like move, go to another place, explore another place. It could be like to actually live somewhere else. It could just be to visit and get out and like go places, and it just kind of depends on where. So paying attention, because I love this. This is also, you're not traveling alone. Your angels are with you no matter where the journey is taking you. Pay attention if you're getting like pulls to go certain places or to do certain things or to visit places, because this can be a part of it too. Or just knowing that you are supported here on earth. You're never anywhere alone, like ever. And I know we don't like that. We have that like illusion that we're by ourselves, but your angels are always just a prayer away. If you need them, you can reach out, you can talk to them, you can learn how to better communicate with them and bring that energy into your life. They're always there when you call them. Now we have to call them. It's a little bit like when you don't pick up the phone and no one does, the connections usually go dead. That's it, right? So the more that we ask, and any higher benevolent being, whether we're talking about ascended masters, the galactics, angels, loved ones in spirit, you have to ask for their help. They can bring you so much into your life. They can channel healing energies and positive guidance and direction and clarity and help you with just about any problem that you can think of. It doesn't even matter what it is. It could be something so small and silly or something bigger, obviously, right? But you have to also ask. They don't interfere with our free will. They really, really respect it. And things like that. So you have so much help around you, whether actual, angels and connecting with them more, or even this is how earth angels here on earth work. Like we have a lot of earth angels here and things like that too. So make sure that you're asking if you need assistance with something and learning how to connect on that level. It'll be the game changer. With things like that too. And I wrote about this, like I know I did in my books. When I first woke up and I was being taught this stuff of like, oh, your angels have just been watching you, the struggle the entire time. Like, you have to ask. And when you do ask, this is where the magic comes in and amazing things start to happen, by the way, right? And I'm like, oh, that explains a lot about my life when I was asleep, by the way. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, you were just struggling and you felt like that. Trust me, learn to ask if you need it of your angels, and you could pray about just about anything. It will help so much because they will work their magic to help you to heal certain things, whether it's blocks, things you're facing, you don't know what to do. They'll help you with all of that. Okay, David Curtin. Self-respect and worthiness. And I love this, self-worth, affirmations, being independent and being motivated. I love it because it's like my mirror work card, and this is what we should be doing more of. And it's like, really doing that work and kind of bringing that into our life, doing positive affirmations about anything. I had someone, I think it was yesterday on the supermoon, I did a really, really quick phone call and was touching base with them. And there was someone I had spent many, many hours like trying to help and work with and teach. And I kind of made a joke to them. I said, oh, well, when you're ready, the teacher goes. Like, I said, how are you doing? And they said, oh, I'm, doing all of this positive stuff. I've been doing affirmations for this. I've been watching all this stuff. I've been meditating. And I said, look how much your life has changed, since like 10 or 20 years ago, though, when you're bringing all this into your life, right? It will change you in such a positive way. And so this is like the game changer of what we're telling ourselves all day, becomes our subconscious programming, creates our reality. Affirmations are probably the biggest help that we can do about anything we want to shift or anything we want to change, and really, really learning how to love ourselves so that we're no longer attracting out of, I call it that lack of love or whatever it is too. So, and I'm going to read you some of the things on this card because I love it. Angel, leader, brilliant, confident, worthy, beautiful, loved, and superstar. And so these things will really, really help you as you're kind of, we'll say, telling yourself these things, reminding yourself of these things. So if you're feeling like a problem, and it could be around like money, relationships, yourself, whatever it is. We talked about confidence a couple messages ago. To really begin to pour into yourself and tell yourself this stuff. You are worthy, you are loved, you are abundant. Begin to really, really tell yourself this, because our beliefs create our reality. And as we can shift out of negative beliefs into a positive one, it is literally going to change you and how you feel about yourself, but your actual overall reality, and shifting out of situations. So if you're feeling you want to heal something, this is one powerful way to do that. Kristen, abundance, faith, optimism, excitement, and breakthrough. So we are still in this Taurus supermoon energy, which is polar opposite of Scorpio, which is all about like death and rebirth and, you know, going a little bit deeper in mediumship and things like that. And it's the same, I call it the same axis though, even though they're very opposite. And Taurus has a lot to do with our self-worth. That was the last message I did. Our confidence, self-worth, how we feel about ourselves, and money and how we attract. So everything from our love life to our relationships to abundance. And so using these energies, we're still in that wave, baby. We're going to be for a few days, can help to bring unexpected money in, to help you to manifest more, to attract more, and to bring more abundance into your reality, or more actual money and energy and things like that too. So this is like some type of financial breakthrough as you're doing the work. I find that actually the problem is not money itself. We've been programmed to believe that. I'm not going to even say that, right? But actually it's our mindset about money and things that we've picked up along the way that keep us in that 3D old program of lack. You ever notice how they're trying to keep us in that old lack programming and things like that, when there's just so much abundance daily, on the daily, okay, and positive rewards and things coming into your life. And so that we can change how we think about money, we change how we attract money, and it gets a lot easier too. We can kind of shift out of that struggle energy too. And so this is for someone being guided to really work on your healing and attracting more abundance and bringing that in. Your entire energy screams abundance. You're going to bring more of that into your reality. Sacral healing for you. Perhaps you're someone who is working on clearing out old generational programs or old programs from your past or things you picked up collectively. Just kind of depends. We do that work individually to kind of shift into this higher 5D state that is so abundant. Let's do Teresa. This is Archangel Raphael. Love, travel, humor, and vitality. For someone focusing on heart chakra healing. And this is huge too, because this also heals our spiritual connection. Our chakras are so important. So we've all been through a lot of stuff, but we're meant to grow and evolve from it, not to allow it to hold us back or hinder us from where we're at too. This is like releasing deep heart chakra wounds and things like that too. It could be things that you've been through in your past. This planet is traumatic. I always remind you guys of that. You've been through a lot of trauma. And so we have to heal that. We have to let go of it. We have to release that. So it's not changing us in a negative way, because it very much can, as we're kind of continuing to go through the process. And so sometimes we have things to heal on that heart chakra level. If it's like heaviness, blocks, ways we're not letting people in, ways that we close out love or become afraid of love because we've been through things that were not love or may have been traumatic, or experiences or negative experiences with people, because there are a lot of positive people that you have yet to meet that are going to help walk you or take you to that next level of your life. But if we're kind of, I don't know, right, and kind of pushing people away or avoiding or still replaying out old traumas and old wounds that we need to work out, it can kind of block us from where we're trying to get to too. Heart chakra work. This is for someone maybe being guided to do a little bit of more healing and activation work on your heart chakra. Working with Archangel Raphael will help that too. And so, you know, out of these wounds, the best healers are born. I want to remind you, because this is like a healer card too at the same time. Maybe you're someone with a very healing energy and you're learning how to kind of integrate that or shift into that or step into that fully. Working with Archangel Raphael will help you a lot with, we talked about healing things from your past, but also really stepping into where you're meant to be with that energy that you're, so I don't want to say carrying, that energy that you're meant to be kind of shifting into as a healer. And so you have to go through a lot to fully become a healer, because you have to know how to heal things. And a lot of people get caught up on the wound. They carry the wounds but haven't healed some of the wounds. When you can heal those wounds, you're going to know how to heal other people, by the way. So it's initiation. Sometimes we don't recognize that, or we do about Earth. We go through certain tests and initiations, and it depends on how we come out the other side. So perhaps you've been through a lot, but you're kind of working on coming out the other side of it, so to speak. Let's do Lena. Wise decision. I love the back. I'm obsessed with that. Okay. This is accurate, brilliant, organized, and validated. So this is about working with your angels to make better decisions, and your choices are going to align you with where you're going or where you're meant to be going. And sometimes our angels have a better view of that. Yeah, they have a better view of our destiny than we do here on Earth. We kind of get tunnel vision and we can't see the big blueprint or the picture. And so sometimes really just listening to the step-by-step guidance that we're getting from our spirit guides and angels can help us so much with setting us so far ahead. So when we don't listen, it's a little bit like I always describe it, like the cartoons where they show the angel on your shoulder and some people are like swatting it off and not listening. You're probably going to be a little bit lost, but when you really, really follow that angelic guidance coming through, you're going to notice that you're really, really getting somewhere, that you're elevating very, very fast, that you're working through problems more easily, and you're making better choices and decisions from this place that you're grounded in right now. Make sure that you're working with your angels. They're going to help you no matter what you're facing, what obstacles coming up, what you're moving through. They're going to help you so, so much with making the best choices and decisions. So it's really, really important for this person that you're following your inner guidance. It's coming from your angels as well too. Let's do Latoya. Divine self, intuition, balance, connection with spirit. And so this is what we came here to Earth, is to like break out of the shell. I call it the ego, the shell of your 3D version of self. It's almost like, you know, the caterpillar coming out of the cocoon, and to become your 5D version of yourself. And it's not always the easiest process. It is a process. I just want to remind you, it's not an overnight process. It's like continuing to better yourself, work on yourself, right? Continuing to integrate the spiritual. You are a soul having a human experience. You're an energetic being. And when we can learn how to see souls and energy, we probably have a little bit of an easier time too with how we're dealing with other people. But we're talking about yourself right now, and to really, really embody that. Okay, so we're in a huge, huge Pleiadian energy right now. It's bringing a lot of upgrades on the DNA level and on the light body level. This is for someone going through a lot of upgrades lately. Perhaps you know that and you're feeling it, and at times it can be a little bit intense, even energetically or emotionally at times. Like, you know that you're going through a huge awakening or transformation as your light body's kind of coming online. Taking care of yourself on that soul level, treating yourself as that energy being will really, really help. This is why energy work, right? When we're needing to go through some of this transformation, and people will say, why? I got it fine on my own. You have an incomplete set of codes, or we would always just do it on our own too. Energy healing and channeling, whether it's some of these alignments or some of these divine energies, can bring you that full set of codes that you need and help to activate and switch things on. We always think that we're just kind of sitting in the energies and it's doing that. If that was working, we'd all be okay in the old, right? So things like working on your energy healing, you know, meditation, doing things that are really, I don't want to say feeding, but feeding your light body and helping to bring it online will really help with this process, because it can feel energetically intense at times. I know so many people, as they're going through their spiritual awakening, it can shake up like every area of your life, whether it's job, relationships, where you're living. It can kind of bring a lot up really, really fast to kind of deal with. So this is for someone being guided to do some light body work and continue to work on your light body. This will help you. Melissa Noel, Divine Magic. I'm trying to show you guys the cards today. Okay, this is wishes, goals, dreams, and accomplishment. This is everything that we should be focusing on. Our own ego loves to keep us focused on the ego needs and wants, or to feed us fear about things at certain times, especially the more things are kind of an upheaval. It loves to kind of come out of the woodwork, right? And this is like, okay, you've got this really good idea. You want to do something with your life, your dreams, right? Your dreams, your goals. You ask a 5-year-old, they're like, I'm going to do this. And they have huge, big goals and dreams. And, you know, as you become an adult, look, it's where your dreams go to die if you're not careful and you don't nurture them, jokes aside, right? So we have to really focus on our dreams and goals, because it really gives us something to look forward to. And that's what I'm all about, setting little manifestation goals and working towards that bigger vision that you want to step into or shift into, because it really helps to get you there. Or we're just kind of going aimlessly around. So as we're putting these these goals into manifestation and we're making things happen, it's going to make you really happy and excited and like, you know, in your life. And if you're not crushing your goals, usually we feel a little dissatisfied and things like that. This is like a really positive energy to really, really get into your manifestation mindset right now, to use the energies of the third eye and to really fuel your goals, your dreams. And, you know, this is doing that manifestation work. And you can do that in many different ways. I love visualization, writing it down, working with your spirit guides to make things happen, taking the necessary steps to make these things a reality. Just kind of depends on what. So for this person, maybe you're a daydreamer, you need to be in that space right now to be making things happen. And that's why we have to do the inner work, every person, to clear out the negative thoughts and beliefs, because they're actually blocking our manifestations from coming through. And we're learning that we create out of thought. There's a lot of scientific evidence to show that the actual pyramids of Giza were created out of thought, by the way. Like literal thought. That's why we're like, how did they make all of this stuff? They literally dreamed it into creation using manifestation abilities that we're having a hard time kind of comprehending as well too. And as the frequencies are rising, we're manifesting easier and easier. Now, this is a double-edged sword for people that haven't done the work. That's why we see so much negativity flying around in the same place, right? Kind of going on. So it's best for everyone to kind of stay in your lane and be kind of tending to your goals and your manifestations and what you want your life to look like, and kind of working on doing that clearing work. That's the only thing blocking you from living your wildest dream life that you want, is literally just clearing out the blocks and negative thoughts that tell you you can't have that reality to align with these higher realities. So manifestation work for you. Let's do rose greenwood. And before I even go into this message, this was like the higher blueprint. We have the lower self, the higher self, and they understood a lot of this stuff back in time. They were tapping into this stuff. They were huge on looking for things like the Philosopher's Stone and inner alchemy and actually transforming. And this is what we're doing in real time here on planet Earth 2025, right? For those that are really getting into the spiritual, it is to, you know, turn that lead into gold. It's an inner process that we go through. And before I even get into this message, so this is peace, and this is like your connected journey, balanced and clearing. And so we have to clear out the negative to become that light. It's literally that shadow work to release these dense energies and to rise up into this light being that we were created to be, and to bring that version of your higher self through where your lower self once stood. It's to really shift from that. I talk about the 3D version of yourself into the 5D version of yourself. And this is where the energy work is so, so helpful to clear out blocks, inner shadows, negative thoughts, beliefs, whatever it is, so that we can rise up higher. And so as we're clearing density from the physical body, it's there. It's a little bit like an old room in your house. You have a lot of houses in that energy body, right? And there's some cobwebs there and you're trying to clear it out, right? And so as we're clearing out energy, we're rising up in vibration and we're vibrating higher. And this is true alchemy. And the violet flame is powerful for this too. They knew that the violet flame could literally not just transform your energy and transmute your energy, but it could change your energy in a powerful way. So for you, continuing to work on, because I had that chakra message, continuing to work on your chakras and do that energy to work to kind of clear out the old. Let's do Angela. Okay, see the humor, and this is like perspective, wisdom, and playfulness. And I love this because once we kind of get on that level of like healing your inner child, you know, we're meant to be like, and this happens a lot with awakening. Some of you guys are kind of getting in that more playful energy. Like we see that, like, you know how like you're a little kid and you used to like run around the backyard? We see adults doing that, like getting into that. That is one side effect of spiritual awakening, right? Where suddenly you kind of lighten up about things. And like, I see a lot of people waking up right now today on my feed, like I'm looking through, okay? And they're feeling some type of way about things. And I'm like, okay, they're waking up. I gotta just be like, okay, they're just waking up out of all of this, whatever's happening on the planet, and that's okay. So we wake up kind of like that. But you learned that we're talking about lightening up our energy, right? And this is like fairy stuff. This is inner child healing and like getting into that awakening state where, you know, you're spending your time differently. You're viewing things differently. You know, you're having a different view than you used to 10, 20 years ago. You're having a different perspective now that you've kind of gone through an awakening and you're out of that dark night of the soul and darkness and you're getting into that lighter energy. And maybe you can kind of joke around a little bit more. You're like being guided to, you know, kind of see things from a higher view of that too. And you're reminded to have fun here. I hate to say that because I'm like the least fun. I'm the nerd side. I'm no fun, right? But we're being guided to actually have fun here with how you're creating, how you're living your life, how you're having your experiences and what you're doing here. And like, this is like making the most of your life while you're here on earth too. There was a huge wait. There's not as many bodies as we think. You were waiting in a queue of 1 million people, 1 billion souls to come to earth. You were freaking in a line of like 1 million souls, like waiting for your number to be called to even get a body here on earth. There was great planning that went into this. And now that you're here, sometimes we're here and we forget that. And we're like, okay, I gotta go to work again. Let me get my coffee. And oh my God, you're not guaranteed infinite amount of time here. And so this is like having fun, having new experiences, getting out there. It's very Lyran energy coming through here too. And Lyrans do quite well, I hate to say this, in the Matrix, but you're being guided to kind of lighten up and to enjoy your time and to make more use of it or whatever it is, right? It's like your little reminder. So if you've been feeling really heavy or stressed out, like clearing that energy and, you know, maybe getting into that newer energy, we'll say. I see Lindsay. Good to see you. Reality check, assessment, exploration, honesty, and determination. And I love this because it's my unicorn, so it's Lumerian energy. Whenever we see the unicorn, yes, these are real beings, by the way, and things like that. So maybe you're getting a reality check with your lessons lately. Awakening is like hardcore, by the way. And suddenly seeing things clearly that we didn't want to see, right? Or whatever it is. So it could feel like, and I already did this in the video earlier, like we've had a lot hitting us lately. Like maybe in your life, because it could be like reflected from your internal state. Or just feeling under pressure, overwhelmed, not where you want to be yet, you know, knowing you have a lot of work still to do on yourself, or even in your external, like getting a lot of hard lessons very, very fast, clearing a lot of karmic cycles. So in order to clear a lot of karmic cycles very fast, we have to go through a lot of karmic cycles fast. It's like that kind of message coming through that you might have been kind of through a lot lately, even within the energies or handling the energies or actually externally kind of trying to get your attention. This is like my wake up call energy, my reality check energy, like the universe trying to get your attention about something. And it's not a negative thing. This is like, hi, we're at a checkpoint. Like, right, how you doing? Like, right, how you doing with everything? You know, what do you need to work on? And I was thinking, imagine if we just started doing our New Year's resolutions right now and got to work. But no, we're going to, like, right, like, what kind of goals do you have? We're going to bring these back online. What are you working on? Is there something that you want to heal, something you want to clear, something you want to change? We don't have to wait till January 1st, by the way, we're in it. And so it's like that kind of energy. Is there something that you need to work on, work through, shift right now? Something trying to get your attention, and things try to get our attention when they're no longer in alignment. And so we should be kind of paying attention to that. Like if stuff is kind of coming up, it's actually encouraging us to get in a deeper alignment with ourselves, but things might be coming up if you have some clearing work going on, anything no longer aligned with you, maybe kind of popping up or getting really obvious during this time. Let's do Rock Alice. Sandalaphon, and this is forgiveness, seeking freedom, and healing. And so in order to let go of the lower timelines that we've all traveled through, love Earth, right? Okay, that journey we talked about, we have to let go through forgiveness. This is how we release karma. And so you already been through something 10, 20 years ago. It's whatever you don't want to talk about, whatever you don't want to go into, all right. But we haven't closed that out karmically without finding forgiveness. And sometimes it's for ourselves. I think we beat ourselves up a lot. Like I always talk about consciousness and what that means to be a human, or about other things people have done with us. And so what happens is if you've been through a cycle, it could have been a relationship or a connection, it could have just been some type of lesson that you got, if you're still holding a grudge, right, or heavy energy from it, or you haven't released the trauma from it, and trauma loves to hide in our body and then present as illness later. So, you know, we ever have something out of balance, whether our chakras and emotions or illness, that's trauma trying to get your attention stored in the body. And so we love to not deal with it because we were not able to in that space. So it's kind of in the body. And then, you know, we get into another connection or friendship or situation, and it's very familiar. So if we've ever experienced a familiar pattern, we need to go back to the original where it happened and heal that to get rid of these patterns on some type of level. And so oftentimes we have to travel back into our past. And if you need help with that, I'm like, hi, I'm actually good at this to help you with that. Sometimes we have to go deeper into the past and to let go of heavy emotions and negative things. And this is why when you really, really go deep into these healing sessions and people are letting things out and releasing it, and it comes out on an energy level, the physical level, right, and in the body. And this is how we can let go of old karmic cycles so we can stop coming back to this planet in a negative sense, right? Like, oh, okay, I have to keep trying again. And to release whatever it is, whether this is attachments from our past, because we know that the lower spiritual loves to feed on this. Like if we have a wound and we haven't healed it, or a karmic wound, we're bleeding energy everywhere. We're leaking energy everywhere. And that's very attractive to negative people and negative stuff. And so when we can heal the old wounds and to really, really heal ourselves, you know, it really begins to help us in so many different ways too. And so this is like needing to let go of something from your past or to find forgiveness or something from your past. We've been through heavy stuff that no one talks about, by the way. And I don't even want to on this video. like we've been through so much. It's why I put out like those books and things to like just show you, you know, we've all been through a lot, and then we act like it's normal now, but we have a lot of repressed stuff still on the energy level. Now, we would just continue to live like it was 1960 and they didn't care and didn't deal with it and just avoided it. However, because of this awakening and ascension, a lot's coming to the surface. And so if there's any old wounds, traumas, repressed energies, attachments, cords, it's all kind of coming up very messy in our time where we're having to deal with it and we're having to clear out a lot of stuff and whatever it is. So, you know, you could have had something happen 100 years ago and you've been fine your whole life, but, you know, it might be manifest. We use this word manifest within the body and ailments in the body, or even in our actual experience. And this is why I see a lot of people like attracting the same karmic patterns, because it's like something that needs to be dealt with, and our soul loves to make us deal with stuff. Like, I'm not dealing with it, right? And it's like, okay, it's getting real messy over here, and, you know, trying to get your attention. So the more that you can heal and clear out any old energies that you're holding on to and find forgiveness, you're going to feel such a release of energy, because you know what? Carrying that around is heavy. And heavy energy. So we're trying to get a lot lighter. So this is just releasing something on the energy level that is still in your field. So we think we dealt with it. You know, this was 100 years ago. I'm fine. But our energy field may say otherwise. Okay, let's do... Julie, good morning. You are ready. Momentum, validation, encouragement, and being prepared. And so this is my favorite, because this is, and I'm going to go into, I always go into manifestation. Like if you know me, it's healing, manifesting. like that's what I do. Okay. So this is going to be a manifestation message. I can't help it with what I'm kind of being shown. Is there something that you're trying to align with? And we think it's bringing it into our life, but actually, okay, like, so we're going to use this example because I know you too good. It's like the house, the relationship, the car, whatever it is. We're trying to manifest something. It's right here. You are right here traveling the multiverse and shifting around these timelines, and you want something. We think we bring it in, like, okay, I'm going to get a car and buy it and bring it over here, right? Like, let's say it's a car. We're just going to make up a bad example, but you get the picture. It's a car. You're trying to manifest a new car, and we think that, you know, I'm going to need money and save up or a car loan and bring it over here. But in reality, that car is literally sitting on this higher timeline, and that you have to shift to it. Now, a lot of times, how do we get to a higher timeline? Because sometimes we might feel a little not where we want to be. We talked about that's a lot of energy going through the collective. I've heard people actually saying that to me, and I've been feeling it too the past few days. So it's like, okay, I'm right here, but I want to be over here. This is where all of your dreams exist. The car, the partner, the house, whatever it is, the puppy, whatever it is you're wanting, okay, on that dream list, okay? So everything you want is right here. And you're literally like 2 timelines away. So we talk about shifting our timelines, and we do that through aligning with whatever it is. Now, in order to shift to a higher timeline, you need to get rid of all those beliefs. It comes down to the beliefs that I can't have the puppy, I can't have the car, I can't afford it, love sucks. All of those beliefs have to go. That's a huge part of quantum shifting, is through our thoughts, but also aligning our frequency with that. Are you able to take care of that puppy? Bad example. Are you able to take care of that car or whatever it is, or this partner, right? Are you able to be that partner that is required of you to have that dream partner, or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest? And so sometimes we have to do some work on ourselves, and we don't want to hear that. Like, okay, well, you'd already have the friggin' puppy, the house, the partner, right? If you didn't have to, maybe you already have all that, but it's about also aligning with this stuff. So whatever it is. So even if you're at that level and you have the puppy, you're trying to go to a higher level, I hope, or you're getting stagnant, right? We're always kind of trying to go a little bit higher. We're always moving around all of the time anyways. We talk about like new timelines, new energy, right? And kind of shifting to a higher trajectory. Raising our vibrational frequency is the most powerful thing that we can do. Clearing things, negative, anything negative. And this is like a huge process. And we're human. We have like how many thoughts a day? About 1 million, right? Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. We might be picking up on things, we might be reading things, they might be coming from within ourselves or even from the higher. We have to purge out. We talk about purging and release all of the negativity to raise into this higher vibrational state, because things like our thoughts are going to affect our energy and our frequency and stuff like that too. This is, you are ready. Perhaps you've been someone healing to try to be ready for whatever it is that you're trying to shift to or bring into your life. Like, this is spirit giving you a message that you're doing the work, and it is working, by the way. How do we know the work is working? It always works. I remind people of this. You see it, you're transforming, you're changing, but also one powerful reminder, if you're looking for signs, the signs are showing us that the work is working. You're seeing angel numbers, you're getting, positive reassurance, you're getting positive messages. And you know what? This is like a whole work on ourselves. So as you're doing the work, it's going to continue to stack on, the results of it too. So you're someone who the work is really, really paying off, and that you're getting signs of whatever it is that you're trying to attract, manifest, or bring into your life, or wherever you're going to. Because we don't look at it like this is a spiritual journey and that's like a train stop. Like okay, you're trekking along your path, and there's going to be things that come on your path, right? And like maybe you're just trying to get here, and it's all waiting for you, like the next train stop too. So just a little positive message from your spirit guides that what you're doing is working, okay? Just in case you needed it. I see Sarah. Soul groups. Messages, reunion, connection, and validation. I love this because that's how I think of like, as you're waking up and ascending, you ascend into a 5D group of souls, and you're probably going to rise up a little bit higher out of the 3D, and you're going to resonate with these people, I hope, a lot more. Because in the 3D, they're still living out a lot of karmic patterns, choosing to not awaken yet, doing things that keep them asleep. Messy energy, not doing the work. It's the lower. You're vibrating out of that. The second you have a spiritual awakening, you begin to vibrate at a 4D and then, of course, the 5D level of it. And you're kind of like, it's a little bit like, I want to say like a flashlight. You're tuning in more to these higher frequency energies. And maybe it's not right up the bat, but I remember when I had an awakening, it's why I put it all in those books. It was like it was changing how I see things and, stuff like that. So you start to have a spiritual awakening, we will say, and you begin to really spiral upward, and you really begin to follow that soul guidance of what it's going to take for you to release the karma that's been keeping you stuck in the 3D for so long, and to do that work. And for everyone, it's different of what's been kind of holding you back, and the own inner work of like the blocks, the thoughts, the obstacles, whatever it is that you're working on healing. And you're going to be guided through the process. That's why it's so important to connect with your spirit guides. And it took me, I would say, 10 years to get through one lesson, because I had to get rid of something in my life, right? And you can kind of stay stuck if you're not following the guidance, and it can take a lot of work. We're talking about clearing out a lot of generational patterns and traumas, and it could be addictions and things holding you back, and bad habits. It doesn't even have to be that obvious, and things within ourself and ego blocks, and it's like all of it. But we begin to do that work once we have a spiritual awakening. And as you begin to vibrate higher and higher, you're going to find people that you really resonate with. And it's not the old paradigm either. We're shifting into the new paradigm, and you're going to find friends that you just connect with on a deeper level. And by the way, some of these connections, they're from your soul group. group. It could be soulmates, twin flame connection. It could just be, you know, finding other spiritual people that like, you know, these are powerful connections in the spiritual that are here to help you too, or to guide you, or whatever it is. And you're going to attract healthier connections in every form. Okay. It's like, what, you know, a lot of the 3D connections are trauma bond. They're based on karma. And when you clear the karma, they go because you don't resonate with it anymore. And your soul's like, oh, okay. That's why you find instant attraction in the toxic connections too. Like, oh, instant. We're meant to be. But I've been studying this. It's actually karma that's wrapping us together. And when you clear the karma, the person has to go, right? And so we see a lot of that in the 3D, like a lot more toxicity and working through trauma and, you know, karmic things and whatever. But as we begin to integrate and really shift into the 4 and the 5D, you're going to have healthier connection with yourself, we hope. And that's going to be the foundation to healthier friendships and healthier relationships and meeting people that are just a lot better for you and like being guided to get into healthier connections. And I mean friendships too. That's where I'm going with this, right? Like you're going to find friends, like some of the people that I've met have been around for a really long time. And I feel closer to them than with my family. Just trust me on that. Like, and other people that like you think, okay. And so we're seeing that even, not going to go there, but some of the family connections are very karmic in nature. They might even come from past lives and whatever. And as you're clearing the karma within yourself and within your own path, you know, this is going to help you to rise up, we talk about, and kind of bring in healthier connections that are actually, you know, energetically aligned and like teach you more and you get more out of it. And it doesn't have to be negative and like very positive connections and things like that too. So you might be drawing in members of your starseed group or your soul monad. And these are very rewarding, powerful, healthy connections for you too. So just kind of stay open if new people are coming in with your awakening. Okay, we're going to do Turpin, energy healing. Holistic well-being, thriving, and vibrant is why you guys come to my page, I hope, for the healing. Okay, we are being guided to heal ourselves, whatever it is. Some people it might be job problems, and I just never got where I wanted to be in my career. Some people it's relationship. I've had to feel some relationship stuff. For some, it's your connection with yourself and how you feel about yourself. So, you know, you're healing some of that stuff. It could be any area of your life, like literally anything. I can't go down the list so much. Something coming up, you got a block, you need to move through something, you're just healing something within yourself. Some it could be more obvious, it could be health stuff, and these things are going to flare up. And I mean everything in our lives, everything that needs to be dealt with and needs to be healed is going to at some point come up in these higher energies. I'm realizing that big time this year. Okay. It could be things in the body, like blocks, health stuff, whatever it is, stuff like that's flaring up. We see that a lot the past couple of years. It could be things in your life. You were fine in this. We'll just use a couple examples, friendship, relationship. It was okay for 20 years. You're good in it. But all of a sudden, you know, the energies are kicking up a lot of karmic stuff. And it's like, you know, you're having a hard time with that. You know, you were okay with this or that. It's like, it's a lot of stuff we have to heal. Like many areas of our life individually are going to kind of come up. And that's what your entire journey of Earth has been trying to help you to do, and to recognize certain patterns and to stop playing them out and help healing certain things. The best thing that I can recommend doing is getting healthy on every level of your life. Look at your foods, look at your circle, look at your energy, right? And to begin to kind of clean it up, right? This could be eating better foods and like feeling guided to it at a certain point, because this stuff is probably going to come up. Getting healthier, taking better care of yourself, taking better care of your energy, doing things like energy healing. And I love this because I talked a little bit about this earlier, that when you really, really dive into this, it might be your calling too, what you're guided to do, but it's for everyone, right? And this is how we ascend, is that we begin to really, really heal many layers and different areas of ourself, most importantly, and of our life too. And as you just begin to work on yourself and becoming a better, more kind, compassionate, loving person, this is going to translate into your connections and bringing, you know, better stuff into your life too. So energy healing is powerful as the work that we do internally. It's all about doing the inner work. It's going to be reflected externally. And this makes us happier, healthier people too. And I think it's so important. I was going to remind you, we have the tools of how to do this. And sometimes we think it's like yes, I'm not knocking it for being guided to teach other people. people, but it's actually for us to use the tools and utilize what we've learned so that you can be healthier, so that you don't have to, be sick in old age and, go out like that and have problems or financial problems or relationship problems anymore, or illness. We're being given the tools during our time so that we can shift out of all of that, so that we can be healthy and happy and have longer lives, or more fulfilling, happier, healthier connections, and, make more money at work, or whatever it is that floats your boat, right? We're being given the tools that help us across all areas of our life too, but it always starts within ourselves and kind of doing that inner work too. So just working on yourself, getting healthier, bringing that healing energy into your life. You guys know that if you're needing energy healing, where to find it. I'm like, hello, it's why I do these videos. Find me on my website, right? Take a flip through, right? Check it out, or whatever. But really working on your healing and healing whatever it is. We talked about healing patterns and things we're still holding on to a lot today. So whatever's kind of still going on within yourself that you need to heal. All right, have a beautiful day. I'm sending you guys so much love and good energies. Take a minute to integrate it. Beautiful Pleiadian energies. On a side note, I do have a lot of beautiful Pleiadian stuff in my shop. You can always do anything in my site all of the time anyways. So I have all that Pleiadian stuff up today. I know that. And then I'm going to kind of flip over my site again tomorrow. I like to kind of go through the waves. So lots of Pleiadian healings on there if you're looking for something to do. Have a beautiful day.